Norwegians are favourite, as they often are. Niet, Valnes, Goldberg and Klebo taking the anchor. Didn't look at his best yesterday, Klebo, but I think we'll see him back to normal today. Kederson, Ogden, Patterson, Schumacher, then Italian team. I think this Italian team could threaten Knockler, Barp, Dapra and Pellegrino. And further back, we've got some of the second teams in here as well. Finland, others, as Antoine Cyr called the team. They spend so much time together. And again, a little bit like the French, their plan is just to try and hang on in there and survive. Vuorinen, Vorela, Lepisto and Maki make up Finland's second team. And this is Germany's second team, and a nervous moment. Durks, Jan Friedrich Durks, then Elias Keck, Stöblin and Kastner. Well, Kastner made his debut and surprised many with a good qualifying time on day one of the Tour de Ski. And actually knocking Andrew Young, sadly, just down into 31st position on day one of the Tour de Ski. So Posey, 16 teams revving up, ready to go. Where's your money?
I'm going to make a safe bet, Mike, and I think I'm going to go for Norway today. It's hard to see past those red suits.
It really is, isn't it? There has to be some phenomenal anchor leg to try and get past Klebo, and you would expect Klebo to be well and truly certainly up at the front at that stage, and maybe he'll find freedom, as we saw in the women's team in the Swedish side. So 16 teams about to get underway, 10 nations represented. 7.5 kilometers for each athlete. And the countdown has begun, so under starters orders and ready to explode from the gun. Oh, I know that feeling when you're on that line and you're just waiting to break free and trying to get the best possible start you can.
It's a long 30 seconds, isn't it? Hearing that clock tick down and all the adrenaline builds up and as you get ready to go.
And that's interesting. It's just a scramble of about 8 seconds, and then you have this drop down here. Quite a fast pace actually down there, maybe some 45 up to 50 kilometers an hour. And then from here it's 43 meters in total height climb, but over a very short distance to take us up to the 600 meter marker.
Yeah, and it just goes and say, Mike, that again, as we saw in the women's earlier, although there's only 16 teams, it feels quite tight because a lot of people are hopping out to go into the not actually in those prepared classic tracks, but in between where the snow is a little bit quicker, and that means people are scrambling a little bit more for position than you'd expect with this number of people out on the course. And
quite close together. It's plenty shoulder space there, but not much room to chop in and out of the two tracks. So two columns here. Bib 2 on the left side, the tall figure of Edvin Anger. He's still only 21-year-old. Big responsibility. They need and they want a good start. The Swedish team are trying to hold on to any potential Norwegian breakaway.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this is going to stronger classic skier. So they've left him on the classic, Klebo on the anchor leg in skate.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So I was surprised to hear that, and yes, it doesn't fill you with confidence if an athlete is saying, well, maybe I'm not the best, especially when your name is Klebo. So that's interesting. We'll have to wait and see how that works. Which suggests if there are a group together on the last leg, Klebo's going to play the tactical game and save it for the sprint. So, sorry, just to summarise there, it's Norway 1, Finland 1, then Sweden 2, and Finland 2 at the front at the handover, and then France only 1.8 seconds behind. And Germany's second team, Norway's second, Germany's second team. Germany's first team at nearly 15 seconds behind, and Sweden's first team at 18 behind.
Yeah, that's bad news for them. So Halvarsson didn't finish yesterday, but he's got a lot of work to do now to get up. So
he's not even sticking to the simple plan.
6 seconds and he's off again. That's impressive skiing from him, and I don't know if the others will start to chase that down or they're just caught napping. They weren't expecting that move from the Frenchman.
Very impressed, and Deloge takes Mathis Deloge, I suppose the weakest of the quartet with respect, coming up next for the French team, so maybe just trying to hand. I'm so impressed. That's a gutsy move, a brave move to move ahead. 60.7 kilometers an hour into this side stroke headwind.
Yeah, and they've still got a lot of speed. They're only about halfway through this race at the moment. There's still another time up the big hill, plus all of this other section with the headwinds as well. So a lot of work to be done still, but I love someone being willing to take the race on.
Yeah, brave at the top end of bravery and confidence, really, since the wonderful performances at the Tour de Ski. Lapalus is looking good. Third overall in the Tour de Ski, third on the last day up an alpine downhill ski slope for 3.5 kilometers.
Yeah, looks like that's Niskanen's made that time back up, and Valnes is there as well. Still a little bit of gap. I'm just going to have a look behind as well.
He had a setback with COVID, and you know, Eric Valnes knew exactly what he had to do. No matter what the pain, stay with Niskanen. The rest are trying, and they're trying to limit the damage now and desperately trying to make contact again. I don't think they will.
No, I think they're too far gone, and we'll see less games this time round. Yeah,
yeah, Sweden's first team is now at the back. Halfarsson being dropped. That's a worrying moment. I think Jens Burman next for the Swedish first team. He's in good shape, but that's a lot of time now he's been given to catch back. Yeah,
they've got a good second half with Burman and then Paroma, who's on good form as well yesterday. But you know, I think they might be kicking themselves for them at that team selection. Not putting Johan Hagström in the first team seems like a bad idea right now.
Yeah, it's certainly hindsight's a great thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if an athlete pulls out the day before, do you feel that it's that it's a good thing to put him in the first team? Anyway, so this is the chasing group being led by Italy still, with Niskanen slipping a little. They won't care about the headwind. Look at Italy coming back. This reminds me something of the 1990s where Italy could win relays.
He's got the same technique as Lapalus and Barb have that very similar technique actually too. He's got such an aggressive herringbone, and they're taking time out of Turnset. Turnset for me is one of the best classic skiers in the world, so that's phenomenal. Sears looking tired. You have to keep your speed round that corner. It's so challenging.
Antoine Sears. Depends what happens next, Posey. Is Paul Goldberg, here he is he going to take this full pace from the handover? If he doesn't, it will give those chasing a chance to come back into the race.
Yeah, and as we said, it's a question mark for me over the Finns and their skate skiing. I think we've seen the strongest half of the Finnish team for sure. I know they're just better at classic, but you know, still good skiers coming out with Ruskinen and then Hivarinen. So.
And sorry, huge respect for Niskanen to try. Yes, he knows his the last two athletes are not as strong as some of their rivals here today, but he's trying to give them as much advantage as he possibly can. So off goes Norway, leg 3, and it's Paul Goldberg.
Yeah, brilliant ski by Italy there. Elia Barb, absolutely fantastic leg, and Lapalus as well, so for France. So great skiing by them to take a couple of seconds out of Norway too, and Germany.
Yeah, impressive. So Italy find themselves now 10 seconds behind. France find themselves 10.6. Mock's strength nowadays, and he's going to stretch and maybe break this field.
Yeah, and I think again, just looking to this last leg, then there's some really good sprinters on a lot of the teams. I don't think the German team has the best sprint finish, so for them the right thing to do is to take the risk and push the pace now. I think he wants to get this pack broken apart again before the final leg handover and see what damage he can do.
Yes, and Lukas Bögel will be delighted watching this on the big screen in the stadium. He'll be delighted that his teammate is making all the moves up front. Finland's second team, Lepisto, just beginning to struggle now. Now, the wind again, you can see it swirling around in this section. So Friedrich Mock has created a ripple all the way down this lead pack of 12. And Kruger at 62.8 kilometers an hour down this fastest section of the track.
Yeah, good skis by Kruger. We see that a lot with the Norwegians, but that was an easy move he made there just to go in front of Mock on the downhill. Skis were good, but he had really good positioning and timing as well, just to step round Mock on that corner.
I think this is great news for Kruger. We haven't seen him really at his best yet this season, but yesterday still wasn't quite there at 23rd position. Looking back to his best for me today.
Yeah, great ski by the young French skier as well, Mathilde Deloge. He was a bit of an unknown, I think, coming into this. I hadn't seen him race too much on World Cup, and I think he, for me, was the weak link in the French team. But I think he's benefited from the pace being quite manageable on the last couple of laps, and he's doing a brilliant job to stay with them.
He definitely is very, very impressive. Now, where's the Swedish team? I thought Jens Burman would have closed. He's trying now to contain any possibility of breakaway with that Norway's second team, and Kruger at the front now.
Yeah, Kruger and Mocker just wanting to put some work in, and the two of them at front here. So when they this is just about down at the lowest part of the course here, and then it's a climb back to the stadium. So it's going to be a hard pace from now to the handover. It
certainly is, and look at bib number 2, Jens Burman, having pulled back such a huge drop in time of 28 seconds. He's now suffering on his third lap. As we often say, you put too much energy out first lap of 3, you will suffer. And there he is now in 5th or 6th place, the Swedish athlete. So Friedrich Mock leading the way in Oberhof. The fans are getting excited, the athletes in the stadium are getting excited, maybe a little surprised that Germany is leading.
I think that's a great ski by Mock, and I think it's brave when it's easy to get intimidated by the Norwegians who just dominate the sport so much, but I think it's great to take the race on, and it's the right move for the team.
It is the right move, and I think that's a real sign of confidence in this up-and-coming German team. The confidence to not just follow but to lead, and that's a great turnaround in psychology. You're right about the French athlete, that's something of a surprise, doing absolutely fantastically well to stay with this.
Yeah, he's hanging on in there, and I think that's all you can ask. That's great. And then Finland, Ruskinen, just about making contact again with that pack. So great ski by Ruskinen. He'd been dropped on the steeper hill, but he's made a bit of time back now, and this has spread them out, so we're seeing the gaps open up.
Yes, Jens Burman as well. I think that's okay, because William Peroma will close it down, I'm quite sure. I don't expect it to go full pace from this handover coming up this time around. At the end of lap 9, then there's only 3 laps to go for the anchor leg athletes. Well, Deluge is incredible. He's not happy with just being with the lead group. He's wanting to hand over in first place.
Oh, what a hero. Love that.
Love it, absolutely. Kruger did a lot of the hard work there to punch this pace a lot firmer. Well done to the young Frenchman for taking the initiative there. Germany's up there as well in second place. So France, Germany, Norway 1 and Norway 2. Finland 2 seconds off the pace. Where's Sweden? And Italy, well, it's Italy next in 6th place. Sweden's first team, that's only 9.1. Italy's second team, well done to them at 10 seconds. And Canada still in the chase. Well, there's one thing, Posey, I think we know for sure, that Klebo will not want to lead at this stage.
I think Klebo's got absolutely no interest in doing any more work than he can do. And then, as always in these situations, the question is, how much are people intimidated by him? Will they just let him dictate the race? Will they sense a bit of weakness? Obviously not being on great form. And will some of these more distant skiers, so we've got... who have we got? I think we got Bogle, and then we've got Stenshagen for Norway too. They might just want to say, do you know what, we just got to burn it right from the start. That's what I would do if I were them. But another one on good form today. As I say, you got 3 good sprinters there. I'd be a little bit nervous if I was anyone else.
Do you know, I think Pellegrino must be feeling pretty good. They won last year in Toblach, not by much, but a win's a win. They had 3 teams within 0.6 of a second.
I think this pace has slowed down again. Come on, Peroma.
Go Canada, well done.
Canada, and you've got Italy too, Mocciolini, another pure sprinter. If you got Mocciolini and Canada staying with this, I think that suggests to me that they've all got a little bit more in the tank. So
I think it's safe to say further back here, Emil Danielson, he really tried to bring this lead group back to it, but now he's suffering terribly up this climb, but he's a long way back. This is where the action is, and Peroma still... I think this is just a flutter of pace change.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I sympathise. It's so tough. You've got these downhill sections. It's easy to come back again. And then you've got the drag. But yeah, Bogle now willing to take it on. Good for him.
Bogle, it's a long, long way up, halfway up the Bergsteig, the huge climb, and still a way to go. And this is really getting rid of some of the teams. Pellegrino's still there. Klabo, of course, is still there. Stenshagen still there as well. Finland still in the mix. Germany leading on the last leg.
Wouldn't that be great to see? We've had one German podium already today. Can the men get bragging rights and go one step higher on the podium?
That would be amazing. And it's not impossible. Well,
it's hard, but it's not impossible.
Impossible's often possible. So the final lap, and building up to a fabulous finish here in Oberhof, and 3 intense days of racing without a doubt. Yesterday 20 kilometers, the day before the sprint competitions, and now we're all down to the final lap in the relay, the men's relay. So Pellegrino, good skis, 64, that's the fastest we've seen today.
Yeah, speeding up as they finally start ramping it up on this last section. Bogle's still there, but Pellegrino certainly tracking. I think unexpectedly ended up out in front there.
But look at all the time, the great Johannes Klabo has been in positions 3 or 4, happily, economically, just thinking, bring it on. Give me the last 300 meters and I'll have you. But he's obviously got some questions about his form when he suggested to the coaches, maybe put me in leg 2.
Yeah, I mean, he to be knocked out in the semi-finals like he did on Friday, unheard of for that to happen.
39 in a row that he started, he put himself on the podium. 39 sprints in a row. Yes, he got it wrong there, so I can understand his concerns.
Yeah, and obviously he was, properly sick over Christmas, not just a cold out. I think it was full flu. He said he lost 5 kilos, and does he have 5 kilos to lose? 5?
Blimey, I would love that. Give me that flu. So here we go. The big names in there, sprinters. Richard Jouve is in there, bib number 5 for France. We've got Peroma, not a sprinter, sadly. We've certainly got Johannes Klabo now buying himself some space. Stenshagen beside him. Are they kind of road blocking, ready to release Klabo from a long way out? I don't think he'll want to go from a long way out. Where's Peroma? Peroma needs to be ready to react.
Again, there's so many people there. Some real shoving going on to get in position. That was a little bit touchy.
Was that Jouve and Stenshagen?
Jouve and Peroma, I think, having a little bit of argy-bargy.
Okay. Stenshagen, of course, is at the front. Johannes Klabo left side leading. Where's Lukas Bogle? I think he got it a little wrong. He's now trapped at the back there. You need space for this final climb, and that's why Klabo is dictating at the front. 6, that's, of course, the great Pellegrino, and rest list for Italy wanting to come through. Yeah, Pellegrino, the sprinters are slowly, the cream of sprinting is slowly going towards the top.
All about positioning now. That's so many people. This is when those with the real great sprint feelings and tactics will benefit. When you've got that many people together, you have to be able to position it perfectly.
I'm getting too excited, Posey. This is now going to unleash at full pace, coming up very, very soon. Klabo's ready to go, Pellegrino's ready to go, and Peroma knows he needs to be there. He needs to try and react, and Finland are still there. So many teams. Here we go. And Stenshagen is going to lead the way. Klabo never wanted to be around here in first place, but he's got Pellegrino to his right side. 2 great sprinters. Klabo is exactly the hunter, and he's exactly where he's wanted to be all day. Save it for the final 200 metres. Pellegrino's there. Richard Jouve is there in 4th place for France. Stenshagen, Norway's 2nd team at the moment, leading it. Oh, it's difficult to get past into the headwind here. When's Klabo going to go? There he goes. Stenshagen led it. And now Klabo's taking over, but Pellegrino is trying to get some of the action on the left side. Stenshagen fading. As expected, Klabo coming in to take it for Norway. Italy in 2nd, and Norway's 2nd team in 3rd. So it was down to a 200-metre sprint to decide the race. 300-metre sprint. Well done to Klabo. Great day for the Italians. Well done, Pellegrino. And the rest of his team. He's the big daddy in the team, of course, the experienced one.
And Italy too in 4th place as well. 2 teams in the top 4 for them. What a day.
What a race. I feel a little for the great work that's Paroma put in earlier, but in the end he has to settle for 7th place, and that's points-wise not a great day for Sweden, and you could see the disappointment on Paroma's face there. Well, Klebo, the clever athlete, you could argue. Of course, he's got a sprint to die for, but he played an economical game.
He did, and do you know what? He won that, but that isn't as easy as he's always seen him win it. So it suggests to me that he's still not quite on his top form. I think sometimes we'd have seen him be able to take 10, 15 metres out. But, you know, I don't want to be too critical. He still got there and he did exactly what he needed to do and what his teammates had set him up for. So that's going to be a good confidence boost.
I think it has. It really does. And I think Stenshagen really helped out the Norway's first team. You know, he wasn't tactically trying to in any sense, but just by chance. Here's the United States coming in now. Alongside them, it's Switzerland. Oh, really good tuck down. That's burning the legs. Oh, which way did it go? Well, it looks like, of course, a photo finish.